If you're thinking about starting a journal, there are 3 things you need to consider before you write your first entry. And the reason for this is because I see many people don't even start their journal, or they start but they don't continue because they don't have the right mindset. So before you write your first entry, consider these 3 things. Begin with the end in mind. It's a popular phrase today, and for good reason. If you look at anyone with some level of success, you know that they got there on purpose. It wasn't an accident. There was a plan to get them to their level of success, and that plan started with the end in mind. The same is true with us in our journaling. If we want to be successful, we have to begin our journaling with success in mind. But this is where it gets interesting, because my level of success with journaling may not be the same as yours. Unfortunately, some people think that journaling is only about filling up as many journals as you can. Or some think that journaling is only about creating wonderful, visually pleasing entries. And some think that journaling is only about adhering to one specific method or system. None of these, of course, are true, which is why we must define our reasons for why we're journaling to begin with. For example, I use my journal now to capture my own personal Bible study notes. And the reason why I do this is because I recognize that I retain more of what I read in the Bible when I quickly jot some notes down about it. Since I use my journal now for personal notes, this could change in a week or in a couple months, but it's okay because at least right now, I've defined the reasons for why I'm journaling to begin with. And this is key. If we don't define our own reason for success or our reasoning for why we're journaling to begin with, we fall into the trap of comparing our journaling to someone else's. And this could hinder our journaling altogether. So make sure you get started with success in mind by defining why you're journaling to begin with. This next tip is more of a challenge because I see that there are many people who start journaling and then they'll stop after a week or even a couple days. And that is to try journaling on for size for at least 30 days. Now, I'm not saying you have to journal every single day and you have to adhere to some specific method. But what I'm saying is give yourself at least 30 days to see if you like journaling or not. When I started journaling, I was a freshman in college, and I used my journal as a way to capture notes when I met with my mentor every single week. And over the course of some months, I found out that I really did enjoy capturing notes, even though they were very, very ugly. I really did enjoy it because it just gave me clarity of thought when I met with him. And over a course of a couple of months, I leveled up my journaling and got an actual notebook, got a new pen, and my journaling has since blossomed from then. But if I just quit maybe the first week or so of journaling, I may not have what I have today, which is 10 years worth of journaling, and now I'm sharing it with you today. You can do the same. Just give yourself 30 days to officially try journaling. Maybe write every day, maybe don't write every day, maybe adhere to a system, maybe not. Just try it out to see if you enjoy it. And if you do, continue with it. And if not, just close the chapter on it and let it go. I think that some have the temptation of needing the right tools in order to get started. Now, that may be true for some things, but that is definitely not the case for journaling. You don't even need a journal to get started. Yes, of course, a notebook is helpful, but all you need is something to write on and something to write with, and you have more than enough to get started. When I officially started journaling, I started with a composition book. I didn't even have a fancy notebook or a fancy pen. I just used a composition book that was actually used for one of my 7th grade classes. I had extra pages in it, and I said, hey, what the heck, I'll use that as my journal. Over time, I found out that I didn't like using a composition book, and I eventually upgraded, but I just got started with what I have. Like I said, if you have something to write on and something to write with, you have more than enough to get started. So what about you? What do you have lying around that you can write on or write with? You have more than enough to get started. So with that said, get started.